behalf of our conductor, Heather Barkley, and the entire Palomar Comet College band, we welcome you tonight, and we say thank you so much for coming out to celebrate with us this wonderful holiday season of live music. You are joining us tonight as we bring you Tales of the Wind Carries. The first tale that you heard was called Festa. It was composed by Mr. Elliot Del Borgo. He lived from 1938 to 2013. He studied at the Philadelphia Conservatory under direction for composition as well as trumpet, hence why you've heard a bunch of trumpets, I would imagine. He's an American composer and music educator. He wrote over 600 works of music in his lifetime. He was famously known for the closing ceremony of the 1980 Winter Olympics. Our next piece that we'll be playing is called Kola Brion Overture. It was composed by Dmitri Koloblosky. He was born in 1904 in St. Petersburg, died in 1987. He was a Soviet composer. He was a conductor and a pianist, taught at the Moscow Conservatory. And he was prolific in multiple forms of music: symphonies, concertos, operas, ballet, chamber works, songs, theater, film scores, etc., etc., etc. But he loved writing for children, and he was especially known for simple works that young children could play and learn to become professional musicians. This piece, the opera of Kola Brion, is based on a book by the same name, written by Romain Rolland in 1914. It celebrates and looks at the year of the life of a Bunkundi worker who was a master craftsman. You're going to hear depictions of a siege, a riot, and a fire, believe it or not. It was originally written for orchestra by Kobylewski in 1937, with Walter Wheeler brilliantly transcribing it for us today in the Wind Ensemble in 1967. I want you to particularly pay attention to the xylophone. No pressure. Our wonderful director and percussionist pointed out and reminded us that this piece is something that percussionists often will have to do for an audition for orchestra. And so please pay attention. Absolutely fantastic. It's known for a rollicking overture. And I had to look up rollicking because I had no idea what that meant. And it actually fits perfectly with this song. Boisterous, carefree, joyful, and high-spirited. Here is Kola Brion Overture. Our next piece is entitled Pie in the Face Polka. It was composed by Henry Mancini, who lived from 1924 to 1994. He was an American composer, conductor, arranger, pianist, and flautist. He won 20 Grammy Awards, 4 Academy Awards, and 1 Golden Globe. And you have heard his music before if you've seen television shows like Newhart, Peter Gunn, Remington Steele, Ripley's Believe It or Not. You've seen movies, Pink Panther, made-for-TV movies, Foreign Birds, all of Mancini's work. Interesting enough, when I was looking at Mr. Mancini, I learned that he was enlisted in the Army in 1943, and he was recruited by Glenn Miller at the time to join the Air Force. He was assigned to the 28th Air Force Band and did some really good work, noted to be not only in the band, but liberating a concentration camp in Auschwitz, which I found very interesting. In 1946, when he returned, he again got reached out by Glenn Miller and led his orchestra. So the piece we're going to play for you tonight is actually from the 1965 classic movie, The Great Race. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Funny, hysterical pie fight scene. And as I was telling the group on Thursday during rehearsal, this is noted as the longest pie fighting scene in film history. It took 4,000 pies to film over a course of numerous days, and real pies were used, including, and I kid you not, fruit pies, custard pies, and whipped cream pies, if you can imagine. With the Typica Polka feel, I'd like you to listen especially to our Oompa tubist, Mr. Israel Torres, and just sit back and enjoy Pie in the Face polka. Thank you. did great though. So for our next piece, it is entitled Folk Song Suite for Military Bands. It's by an English composer, Ralph Vaughan Williams. It's actually one of his most famous works. He lived from 1872 to 1958. He was strongly influenced by Tudor music and English folk song, but this was a break in the normal British music from its German-dominated style in the 19th century. He believed in making music available to everybody, and so he particularly focused on folk songs from the 1903-1905. He wanted to make sure those folk songs that were captured orally through oral traditions were written down so that we could hear them today. Thank goodness for that. The Folk Song Suite for military band features 3 movements. The first one is entitled 17 Come Sunday, featuring Ben Miguel on clarinet and Peter Lorabere on trumpet. Second movement is called My Bonnie Boy, again featuring Peter on trumpet, Brianna Johnson on oboe, myself on euphonium, Cliff Saper on clarinet, and Israel Torres on tuba. And last but not least, our third movement, Folk Songs for Somerset, featuring again Peter on trumpet. I want you to listen particularly for the 9 different distinct folk songs that you're about to hear. Here is Folk Song Suite for the military band. He arranged it in 1998, and it's based on the Ukrainian bell carol. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, it was arranged by composer and teacher Mykola Leontovich in 1916. And the original idea behind the song told the story of a swallow flying into a household to sing of the wealth that came later that spring. It was adapted then, about 30 years later, by Peter J. Wulhowski, and known as Carol of the Bells, as we know it today. Some of the lyrics that you might have heard while we were playing include, "Hark, how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away, Christmas is here, bringing good cheer." Our next piece is a Christmas festival. It was written by Leroy Anderson in 1950. It's actually first performed in 1950 by Boston Pops with conductor Arthur Fiedler. He actually asked Leroy Anderson specifically to write a piece of Christmas music that they could perform, and he wanted something that would be all-encompassing. So Mr. Anderson decided to take 7 of the most popular Christmas carols and 1 Christmas song, Jingle Bells, and here we have Christmas Festival. It's a band favorite. I have played this probably a dozen times. You have all heard it probably several times. Sit back, enjoy the Christmas Festival. Thank you. entitled The Radetzky March. It's composed by Johann Strauss the first, not the second, as I was reminded a couple times. An Austrian composer from the Romantic period, Strauss soon became one of the best known and well-loved dance composers in all of Vienna. Namely for waltzes, but polkas, and also a tune, something about a gallops, which turned later into the can-can. It gives you an idea of his writing style. Johann Strauss I's most famous piece, however, ironically, is a march, believe it or not, and it is Radetzky's March. Happens to be one of our director's favorites, and so we have made this into our showpiece, our signature piece, as it were. It features Becky Dominguez on the piccolo, and it's the version that you're going to hear tonight was adapted and arranged by Alfred Reed in 1993. Truly an annual treat for the ears, in my humble opinion. Here is Radetzky's March. Radusky March is that it was named after Field Marshal Joseph Radusky. But when it was first played in front of the Austrian soldiers, they clapped and stomped their feet to the rhythm, so you did good. Here's Heather.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We are so appreciative that you are here and supporting the arts as always. Palomar College, along with myself, we just totally appreciate everything that you do by coming and attending all of our different and various events. I would like to acknowledge some special guest artists. I'm going to pull out my paper because it would not be very cool if I forget somebody. So we have Professor Jonathan Abrams, if you'll stand up, please. Wolf on Sunshine. And Matthew Samita on percussion. I have to do a little quick story. So we played the first half of the program, and I went back into the clean room, the dressing room, to relax a little bit, and I looked, so the concert started at 7, right? I looked at the clock, and it says 9 o'clock. And I was like, whoa, did I really take my tempos that slow? So, anyway, I'd like to thank the crew here for helping us out. Tom, Eric, Patrick, Rose, Heather, Tony, am I forgetting someone? You.
Alan and Greg.
Alan and Greg, ushers tonight, thank you for doing that. And thank you to Karen, she saved me a lot of voice color by being our narrator tonight, and also a lot of voice. She also did the research for all of the notes, and I don't know if you realize how much work that is, so I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And on that note, I will let Ms. Carmen finish up her notes, and we'll finish up the concert. Thank you again.
On behalf of the entire band, we say thank you, Heather, for leading us this fall. So our final piece for this concert is a concert suite from the movie The Polar Express. It was written by Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard and arranged for the band by Jerry Brubaker. The Polar Express, if you don't know, is the 2004 American animated adventure fantasy film. It is based on the 1985 children's book of the same name, written by Chris von Allsburg. I quote, "Set on Christmas Eve, it tells the story of a young boy who sees a mysterious train bound for the North Pole stop outside his window, and he is invited aboard by its conductor. He joins other children as they embark on a journey to visit Santa Claus, preparing for Christmas." One of the songs that we're going to be playing this evening, Believe, was nominated for Best Original Song at the 77th Academy Awards. It was actually sung at that award ceremony, not by only Josh Groban and Beyonce. Though it didn't win an Academy Award that year, it went on to win a Grammy in 2006. Along with that song, Believe, we will also be performing the theme song, Polar Express, When Christmas Comes to Town, and the spirit of the season. We hope to have instilled in each of you a bit of love, joy, togetherness this holiday season. Each of us here with the Palomar Comet Concert Band wishes each of you a very happy holiday. And here is, for all of those who truly believe, the Polar Express.